Hey guys, so I'm Gary and I'm a drummer, and mostly I do live gigs with a couple different acts. I do some recording, but for the most part my whole thing is live gigs. I love playing live. Anyway, so I made a video a little while ago sort of showcasing this rig, for lack of a better word, that I use for monitors. And I won't go through that all now. I'll leave a link to the video somewhere here so you can see that. And it's fairly complicated, but it was way less complicated than the system I was using before that. However, since I made that video, I finally came up with a much more elegant and simple solution. So here's that. Okay guys, the case on the right is the one that I was using. It looks really complicated. It is kind of complicated, but basically I was using a Behringer mixer, which allowed me to simultaneously hear a click and then on another channel, the monitor mix coming from the board. That's all I needed, and this is the solution that I came up with. Well, on the left here is my new solution. Okay, so this is just a mic that I use for my snare. That really has nothing to do with this. This is Behringer P2. It's a headphone amp, basically. This is a XLR female input. So this receives the monitor mix from the board. And this is how I can now hear my monitor mix. And then obviously this is the headphone output. And in that square case, gray square case there are my headphone, my earbuds actually. And then I have plenty of gain. This little knob here gives me a ton of gain, so there's no problems with that. All right, so that's how I now hear my monitor mix. How do I hear the click? Well, that's where this comes in. This is a direct box. Male XLR out, 1/4 inch in. So the way this works, I use this cable. This is a USB to 1/8 inch female output. This is an adapter 1/8 inch to 1/4, and then I have this 1/4 inch patch cable. And that gets plugged into my iPad. That's where my click source is coming from, this Polynome app. And this is a set list. So this plugs into the USB port at the bottom. This end goes to the 1/4 inch input of the direct box, and then the XLR male output gets sent to a channel on the board, which then comes back to me through the headphone amp. And the way I control my own mix, I have an old iPhone 6S Plus. I use the Yamaha app called Monitor Mix. I'll show what that looks like. I can't connect it to the board because obviously I don't have the board here. So I'm just going to show you the demo. And there it is. So this is how I'm able to control my monitor mix. And one of these faders, you see you get a bunch of them, one of these faders will be assigned to the channel that the click is coming in. So this basically replaces this mixer. It's just way simpler than the way I was using it. Look at all this crap versus what you're seeing here. And look at the size of this case. Now, the only thing here, I have these power adapters because my iPhone 6S Plus, the battery isn't what it used to be, so I need to plug it in. All of that aside, this is a much more elegant, simple solution than what I was using. The heart of this whole thing is this headphone amp and this direct box. This is roughly $40. And again, Behringer isn't the only one that makes it. There's several companies that make almost the exact same thing. Actually, I have another unit from another company, and the reason I like that one better than this is because you can switch from mono to stereo, but in order to do so, you have to take the chassis out, which can be kind of problematic. The other one that I have has that switch on the outside. It's not that big a deal. Now, this happens to be a Behringer DI box. You can use any one. There's many on the market for those of you that hate Behringer. But all I need this for is to hear the click. So I wanted to get the least expensive one. This is a passive direct box, and it was roughly about $30 currently. So anyway, that's it. These two things. So simple, so elegant. I can't believe it's taken me. I'm not even going to tell you how long it took me to come up with this one. My brain tends to go from the most complicated solution to the simplest one eventually, which is the opposite of what it should be doing. So some of you may have heard the term Occam's razor. And what that basically is saying the simplest answer is usually the right answer. So my brain works in reverse. That's probably from all the years of playing really complicated fusion music with odd time signatures and stuff. And I guess I was unconsciously training my brain to always think of the most complicated thing first. I don't know. Either way, I guess the moral of this story is, I don't know. Take a little bit of time to think of a simple solution before I start getting all complicated. All right, guys. Hope you found this helpful as always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.